Hello everyone and welcome to a Happy New Year here on the Fireside stream. I am your host, Remy McNeil, and with me is the always reliable Mollie Rhyme Master. Mollie, how are you doing today? Mollie has frozen. You froze for a second there.
Am I back?
You're back.
Okay, that's good. Anyway, Happy New Frog. In big news, Sarah is starting an Only Frogs, in which she will just talk about frogs. I'm kidding, she isn't, but I really wanted to say that.
Yes.
I've been saving up on my introductions.
It has been one hell of a 2020, and now we're in 2021 and hoping we can make this a much more positive experience for everyone. Sup, Twilight Guardian?
I'm going to be participating on
you.
America's Next Top Goblin.
Next Top That should be a thing. Can you imagine that show? America's Next Top Goblin, where like everyone tries to troll each other constantly? That would be amazing.
It's not just that, it's just how goblin-y can a person be.
Yeah. And Elephas Chaos. Yeah, we've been using that music for the intro for about, I don't know, almost as long as we've had these Fireside streams. I want to say just a little after we started them. I think maybe episode 2 or 3 of these Fireside streams.
We can switch it up. It's my own songs, and I have a lot of other songs, so.
I just think he hadn't joined for a while. Day 2 of 2021, and Twitch dies. Well, their loss, my gain. Invite all those all those Twitch thoughts that were going to go over there, or the Twitch simps, I guess, going over there. Invite them to this stream so they can get educated on like literature and such. Now, for the record, if they come over here, Mollie's not going to be the one taking off her clothes. I'll be the one taking off my clothes for donations. Now, I'm not sure how that's going to work. I'm pretty sure that's going to attract a big crowd. I kid, of course. I'm not going to take off my clothes on camera. God no, I'm smarter than that.
Yeah, me too. So I actually.
Your mic cut out. Your mic just like you were like, so actually, and like it just all died.
I'm sorry, technology. I said I'm trying to start this. I want to start the stream off on a conspiracy theory I have.
Oh, go ahead.
So, you know Red Like Roses and Mirror Mirror?
Yes.
Like the songs? My theory is that they are ghostwritten.
Now the question is, who is the ghostwriter? And why haven't they hired him?
I think it's probably Alex Abraham. It's probably Alex Abraham. See, here's the thing. Everything about those songs is completely different from the rest of Jeff Willing's repertoire. And I don't just mean, like, the fact that they're good. I mean, like... he has some good songs. But, I mean, like, instrumentally, the lyrical style, the way Casey's voice is used, everything about those songs, it's just not his style. And while some musicians can switch it up, it's like,
Now, here's a question. Does that apply to Red Like Roses Part 2?
No, Red Like Roses Part 2 is absolutely Jeff Williams.
Because I think that used Casey's voice decently well. It was one of the few songs that I think she really fits well.
You hear Casey really in her element when she's doing these kind of like more choral solos, like you hear in Mirror Mirror. Where it's like a lot softer on her voice, I think, because I think she's classically trained. I remember hearing something about that once, that she learned how to sing like through choir, not through like rock. So it's like more her speed to do.
Yeah, I could see that. I hear a lot of actually my training in there, because I used to be in chorus, and the glee club I was a part of in high school was city renowned, actually. It was very well regarded around the city.
Oh, that's cool.
We would get hired for they would hire us for events, and that would help fund these extravagant travels that we could actually do. Because like one year, like every 2 years we would go on some kind of big Glee Club adventure, like over to Europe or something like that. I mean, like when I was in there, we went to Ireland, and that was a lot of fun going there. And then we went to Germany, my senior year, and then we went to they went to Italy. I could have technically stuck on the Italy trip, but I didn't really want to. I was not in a good headspace back then, and I also kind of was worried about college and all that kind of stuff. Um,
Hold on. We're getting some questions now. Was the song "Sacrifice" ghost-written? I don't think "Sacrifice" was ghost-written. I think that was just a moment of clarity. I think because there are definitely elements of that song that are just like the rest of the soundtrack. So, like for example, the fact that the song would be, in my opinion, better ending on that kind of quieter like bridge, but instead it just goes into the hard rock chorus at the very end. That's very in line of Ruby. The only other song I would assume might be ghost written is "Path to Isolation," but that honestly was probably just the Mirror like studio file that has been rearranged and guitar was added to it.
And San Francisco asks, that's a great name, by the way. What am I drinking? I'm drinking a Pepsi. It's in there. It's just I'm using a Yeti brand like mug type deal that actually does an alarmingly good job of keeping it cold. Like it's one of those like thermal retention or isolation cups. It's really good.
My other evidence about Mirror being ghostwritten is that Mirror Part 2 is hot garbage.
I remember hearing Mirror Part 2 and like I was confused because I heard elements of Mirror and I'm like, that should be good. That's really cool. They're bringing that back, but it's not.
Instrumentally, it has its issues. If some other band / singer did the opening for a Ruby volume, who would you want? Well, you see, I like the bands I listen to, so.
Yeah, I don't want to subject him to that.
So, I don't know.
I would just license some Linkin Park songs.
Yeah.
Because like they're actually good and they kind of hit the tone they're going for with the angst, like the fat the on the face angst of it all, while also having a little bit of depth in there.
Give me reason to feel this connects memorically. Like your thoughts cross the distance in your eyes.
This is now a Linkin Park karaoke stream. I mean, that is one thing. I got VR for Christmas. I'm very happy about that.
Awesome.
Yeah, it is awesome. And I've been playing Beat Saber, and I splurged and I bought the entire Linkin Park pack for Beat Saber.
So you mean Part 2? Oh, my mic. Have I not been speaking into my mic this whole time? That's awkward. Let's see. I am a professional streamer.
Oh, there we go. Yeah.
My mic fell out. Anyway, Part 2 sounds more in line with how Ruby actually is. Yeah, no. Red Like Rose Part 2 was like the quintessential Ruby song.
Yeah. And the thing is, I like Red Like Roses Part 2. I think that's kind of what they're aiming for a lot of the time. I just don't think they hit the nail on the head. Also, it has, again, nothing to do with what's happening on screen, which is kind of the issue with a lot of Ruby songs, is that they don't feel connected to the actual show, unless they are so on the nose, like the "Screw You, Dad, I'm Gonna Sing What I Want" song.
Based, This Life Is Mine. Always based.
That said, we should probably jump into the prompts. The first one up, I believe, is
before anybody gets angry. Who's first?
Mupa is first.
Always a pleasure to see Mupa's writing. So.
Okay.
Let's open this up.
Yeah, I think this is like a kind of a poetry style.
I have different playlists for Ruby characters. Why?
I mean, they had to have characters first.
I have a playlist that specifically was inspired by 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 Fire Emblem, so I guess it's not that weird, but it's like a joke playlist. It's a good playlist. It's my workout playlist.
Uh, but yes, in our last challenge, we challenged people to write unusual narrative styles, where basically telling things in a less standardized way. You know, no first person limited, no third person limited, no third person omniscience, none of that noise. Tell it in an unusual style. And this is the first result, and it's already very visually different. We can actually, let's appreciate that for a minute here, because that actually is a big part of distinguishing yourself in the medium, is making sure that like your prose's shape, oddly enough, can affect kind of what the reader perceives. So going into this, I'm expecting something that's a little lighter because of just how it's all spaced out. When you perceive it that way, Molly, or
Yeah, I mean it's easy. Like there is such a thing as having writing that's easy on the eyes. This is basically the opposite of like, block of text.
It's the opposite of Faulkner.
Yeah.
Where if you guys aren't familiar with Faulkner, he's the man famous for having a sentence as long as a page. And this is a small type, for the record. Faulkner really knew how to pack in a sentence. But yes, let's read this. Hark, hark, ye all, and let me tell you but one of the songs of she, Abriel, under a curse's thrall. So,
it's rhyming.
Yeah, I think it's poetry. So it was.
Well, I mean, you can have poetry that doesn't rhyme.
Yeah, true. I just prefer when poetry does. I feel like the freeform stuff. There's some freeform stuff that gets annoying where they're like, "Oh, it doesn't need the rhyme. It's not a poem." So it was the flower maiden and her knight in the human lands entered the ragged crow. Their faces were sour, feet dragging through like through mire. You may wonder what caused them both to look so. Abriel and Sir Luke sat at table yonder, silent as the grave and glowering alike. But when the wench came to take both their orders, they opened their mouths and sung forthright. For you see, a stupid wizard had them placed under a curse, a very, very stupid wizard who could barely converse. A curse to make them sing every word they say. The stupid wizard had them both under his dumb singing curse.
Don't you? Okay, this is like a. Now we're dipping into my realm, which is
I feel like you should be reading this one. Your mic cut out.
I'm doing.
Okay, there you go.
Am I good?
I think you're back.
So doing my best. Using the word stupid and dumb in the same sentence is very like childish, and if that's the tone you're going for, great. But in this case, it doesn't, and it also breaks the meter a little bit. Because like, how am I trying to phrase this? So the word singing is kind of double stressed, and everything else that had rhymed at this point was short stress. So a curse, converse, and then singing curse has that like, I guess you could say like it doesn't have that downbeat that it needs in the meter. Which even if you're doing freeform poetry, you do need meter. Because, like, when you read it, it can sound wrong in your head.
Yeah, that's actually a thing you can notice in Shakespeare. Because Shakespeare has done an iambic pentameter specifically when the nobles are talking. And it's a very noticeable difference when when you're listening to it in plays, where you can tell a noble character apart from a commoner character by the way they speak, and how commoner characters sound more crude than the noble characters. It's very interesting how that was like sort of how it was done back then. Yeah. So should we pick up here?
Yeah.
Said Luke, on whose recommendation did you go? To such a fool who could not tell a damn-spotted frog from a fat, blistering toad.
Frog?
Frog.
Frogs. 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 Frogs confirmed.
I'm gonna actually have to update my Streamlabs where like I get like chats and stuff, so I have like a frog for you.
Yes.
I hate this. This is the worst spell," said Abriel. He said the spell would only last a few hours at most. Come morning we'll be fine. It's not so bad. It's not like we're toast. Okay, that feels a little stretchy.
That's very stretchy.
Yeah.
Because if you're going for this like medieval-ish kind of tone, you can't be using this like modern slangish. It's actually one of the reasons that like Ruby songs can sound really weird is because it can fail to keep the same tone throughout the song. So you'll get characters like the narrator of the song, which is the singer in this, like the singer, you know, saying like everything casual, and then there's like a really intense poetic line in there, or the other way around. And it can really mess with the song.
Yeah. Oh, to answer the question of what would be the most random music genre for Jeff, has he tried country yet?
Don't give him ideas.
No, I mean like there's like two types of country. One which is like I specifically want him to try the my car left me for another man. That brand of country. My truck left me for another man. That was it. That's the joke. Yet she couldn't deny the stupid wizard's curse was quite adverse. Though the wizard was sorry, it had left them both for the worse. Though the spell would end in but a few hours' time, it was so very irritating to speak only in verse.
You could have said rhyme. You could have said rhyme.
I think she was going for an AABA.
I know, but
in silence they ate their meal without much lust or zeal. Now she's going AA. Oh, he's like,
yeah, that's AABB. If you think about AABA, is you have to make sure that that B doesn't sound like it's leading into another line.
That is true. That is something that I've struggled with when I've written some poetry. Without much lust or zeal, afraid to open their mouths for what they spoke, they turned the heads of every patron and every bloke. For you see, the stupid wizard had placed them under his curse. Yes, the stupid wizard had left them much for the worse. A curse to make them sing every word they said. Till morning they were under the stupid wizard's singing curse. For you see, the stupid wizard had placed them under his curse. Oh, it's just refrain. At evening's end, as they both walked away, a few coppers richer for tips from the songs. Though Luke had said he wouldn't escort Abriel again, privately she thought his voice was quite lovely.
No. 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 No.
Was that trying to rhyme lovely with away?
Yes, and that does have some precedent. Some, especially when if like, assuming this is supposed to be read like a comedic kind of like bardish or folkish song, that doesn't not have a precedent. But like personally, I don't like it.
I think actually a better ending for this would be like suddenly it just doesn't have verse. Like suddenly the spell wears off and it's just you just have that reflected and like it's still structured this way, but like you don't have it rhyming anymore.
Yeah, like if you're going to do this kind of like comedic folk song, you have to make sure it has that like right punchline. Rhyme scheme is hard.
Rhyme scheme is terrifying, but this is a fair attempt.
Terrifying, and I can't believe I've been doing it for this long.
This is a fair attempt. I at least enjoyed reading this. It's a cute little thing, cute little comedy short. So
yeah,
good work,
cute.
Mupa.
It was a very nice to see. You know, I always like seeing like your kind of your stranger work. I know that you like to do these kind of unusual narratives. So, you know, I always like to see you experimenting.
Let's see. Sudoku is fun. Looking forward to watching a new episode of Cracking the Cryptic. That must be new shows that are on. power metal would work with the metal sounds. No, I don't want him trying power metal. Actually, he's probably already touched on power
he
metal.
kind of already has. I would say like a song like Hero is power metal ish.
Oh, you know what would be really interesting to see him try? Industrial metal. Which is like much. Have you ever listened to industrial metal?
I think I have a couple times. I do not like it.
I mean, it's a very specific taste and mood. It's one of the best things to come out of frickin' Tetsuo the Iron Man, which is a mess of a movie. Is it has a industrial metal soundtrack inspired by Nine Inch Nails, and it's pretty good. But like, I'm just trying to imagine a Ruby moment set to industrial metal, and I just can't think of one.
I think Ruby should just replace this entire soundtrack with licensed music. Like, okay, any like emo song from between like 2008 and 2014.
Yeah.
Yep.
Just all of Fall Out Boy's discography.
Oh yeah.
I'll be number one with a bullet.
For the sad songs, you could do like The Scientist by Coldplay.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And the ending of the entire show, like where they're like looking over the land that they've saved, you just have Paradise playing in the background.
Yes.
Bapa, bapa, bapa. Thing is, I haven't really listened to Paradise in a long time, but I do have the Piano Guys version of it, which is sung in like an African language. So like whenever I think of Paradise, I think Bapo, Bapo, Bapo B, Bapo, Bapo, Bapo B. I don't remember if that actually has lyrics in that section or not. Oh, Baraiza.
I want to see Weiss, but she's singing like the Glee cover of Somewhere Only We Know.
Yes.
I wanna know what love is. Why suddenly just changes octaves in her songs. Completely different voice. All right, so next up is Apocalyptic Chaos's Type 003 story.
Meatloaf should do. Who's Meatloaf?
I've heard of Meatloaf. I don't know if I've ever listened to any of his songs.
The last song I finished had a rhyme scheme of A B B A C C, and then A D D and then three not rhyming lines. No, it's A D D E E and then two non-rhyming lines.
A D E X B C Q1 789. There. Wait, I'm outside walking in the rain because I don't feel like sitting down. Needless to say, I wish I had a treadmill. Oof. Well, I hope we can make the rain walk all the more entertaining. Hopefully it's not cold where you are. Because walking in cold rain sucks. I do like walking in rain. I like the rain if it's a warm rain. It's very pleasant. Well, power metal by an actual power metal band like Blind Guardian. I don't listen to much power metal. That's the problem. I don't have a lot of points of comparison. Calls me the original version of Circle of Life, which is just gibberish, sounds better than the Broadway version that uses actual words from an African language. I mean, but like that's kind of a thing. Like when you sing songs to yourself and you don't have lyrics to them, you make gibberish for them. You can make that gibberish sound amazing.
There was literally whole genres of singing that's dedicated to doing that. What do you think scat is?
I'm the scat man.
That's literally what scat is. It's just saying gibberish, but it sounds lit.
This is now a scat man stream.
There's no scat. No music stream. One day I'll be able to write songs.
You can write songs.
I know.
Well, okay, here we go. Let's hop into Apocalyptic Chaos. I think he'd be waiting on us at this point. Well, fuck. Sorry, not strong here. Was the first thought that ran through Michael's mind. Okay, so a few notes here. Was the first thought that ran through Michael's possessive apostrophe S, mind, as he enlarged the sensor scan. Period. You want to do a period there, I think. Because flowing right into however messes up the whole thing you're doing with the opening line. However, as he further examined the image, singular, or examine the images? I think I know what you're trying to go for there. I don't think it's quite working. He realized only a single missile had been launched. But it was still more than enough of a threat. Without a word, he pressed a long, unused icon ever present on his desktop. You want to switch, I think, ever present and long unused. He pressed the ever present unused icon on his desktop. I think would probably flow better. Warning, battle stations. This is not a drill, pleaded an alarm echoing across the ship. Oh, peeled. Peeled. Okay, I was going to say pleaded doesn't work. Peeled. That's actually a good word choice. I like peeled. Sensor Chief Amara, give me a report. Comma goes inside the quotations, unless you're British, in which case they go outside. Is that right?
Yep.
British English, slightly different than normal than actual English.
Than normal English.
Yeah. I'll be pompous. America, hell yeah.
You know, they say that the reason why people in Boston drop their R's is because it's left over from when Victorian England still kind of had a presence there, which means that the rest of us who don't drop our R's are actually speaking what the Brits used to speak.
Actually, here's a fun fact is the closest accent you'll get to traditional British accent is deep Southern.
I think there's a spot in the middle of the Chesapeake Bay that's basically hasn't like it's been the same population there for like 400 years, and they apparently have like one of those accents that's like super close to original British English. But let's move on.
Yes. Michael asked. He needed. Senator Chief Ibarra, give me a report. Michael asked. That's more of a demand. It's not really an ask. Michael demanded. Period. He needed info on what exactly they were facing. Maybe a period or maybe a semicolon. It could work there either. With a hint of nervousness, the young woman answered, enlarging the radar signature. Period. Sir, as you can see, a radar contact identified as a Type 18 headed on intercept trajectory and will hit us at 1200 hours. That gave them 30 minutes, he realized, more than enough time to react. Oh, I can't remember, is this... I might double check something. Just a moment to cut out your webcam so I don't accidentally show things. Apocalyptic chaos. This may or may not actually follow the prompt. No, it says it follows the prompt. Because it seems very stock standard so far. It doesn't seem to be diverting by our criteria.
No,
quite.
it's just what he always writes.
Sir, as you can see, the radar contact identified as a Type 18 is headed on an intercept trajectory and will hit us at 1200 hours. If you're going to have characters say that, you actually write out the number. You don't write the number itself. You write out 12 as in TWELVE. Am I spelling that right? I can't spell unless I'm writing. But you actually write out the number itself. You don't write the numerals. That gave them 30 minutes, he realized. More than enough time to react. Type 18, he mumbled to himself, stroking his supple on his chin. He looked back at the catalog of weapons and systems he'd mentioned. Within a second, he conjured a mental image of the weapon. I think actually more smoothly instead of period. He looked back at he looked back into the catalogs of weapons he'd memorized, conjuring a mental image of the weapon in seconds. I think that'd be much smoother. A behemoth of a missile comparable to a double-decker in size. Maybe a semicolon there to continue that. Propelled by an oxygen, or maybe a semicolon is to connect two disparate but tangentially related clauses, right?
Can we just move on?
From like in the story, or
Just do another one.
okay. I mean, we can come back to this. We're trying to look for the more unusual ones right now. So, dinner prompt. This one, I was warned, is more of a horror story. So,
It says diner, not dinner.
did I say dinner? Who said
It says
dinner?
diner.
Yeah, it says diner.
Yeah.
Written by William Wimser. So, Frontier, good stuff. Delaporte's Classic Diner. Classic food for classic times, just off Highway 4. Look for the neon cat. Ask for Dot. Delaport is come by for a spell since 1936. Ticket 1. 2 eggs, breakfast, special, bacon, whole wheat, coffee, 2 sugars, no cream. Ticket 2. Eggs and hash browns, extra sausage, white toast, OJ. Ticket 3. Coffee, black. Ticket 4. House special, tomato soup, biscuit, side, iced tea with refill. Give him an extra biscuit cookie, he tips well. Ticket 5. Club, wrap, steak fries on the side, Coke. Don't rush, he's being an asshole. Ticket 7. Double cheeseburger with all the fixins. Apple pie, strawberry milkshake double. Ticket 8. Waffles. Yes, just waffles. That's all she wants. Delivery notice. Assorted drinks. Pallet times 20. Eggs. Carton times 50. Specialty meats. Frozen. Crate times 2. Meats to the deep freeze. Everything else to the walk-in. Please and thank you. Ticket 9. Table 6. Same guy as yesterday. Acting suspicious. Watch him. Coffee black. Ticket 10. House special. Spicy. Steak fries on the side. Ginger ale. Ticket 11. House special. Mushroom soup. Biscuit side. Iced tea with refill. Regular again. Bump up his order. He's a good egg. Delivery notice. Specialty meats. Frozen. Crate times 18. Specialty meats. Fresh. Crate times 2. Need to clear some room in the deep freeze for all this. Ticket 12. Home style plate. Mayo on the side. Ginger ale. I think table 6 is sitting in the parking lot. Ticket 13. Scrambled eggs. Bacon. White toast. OJ. Ticket 14. Table 6 is back again. Keep your eye on him. Ticket 15. House special. Chicken soup. Biscuit side. Iced tea with refill. You think this guy likes her food or something. Ticket 16. I think table 6 is a cop. Spike his coffee. Ticket 17. Pancakes. Bacon. Strawberry sauce. Coffee. 3 sugars. Ticket 18. House special. Steak fries on the side. Strawberry milkshake. Big crowd coming in. Better break open the deep freeze and clean up the cop's blood before someone sees it. Ticket 19. House special. Ginger ale. Ticket 20. House special. Coffee. 2 creams. No sugar. Ticket 21. House special. Raw. Water. Ticket 22. House special. Raw. Ticket 23. House special. VIP. Request to mail if we still have one. Ticket 24. House special. Cauliflower soup. Biscuit side. Iced tea with refill. Compliments to the chef. That was exactly what I was thinking when I gave the idea of like, oh, you could do something really fun with a diner. I don't remember if I actually said it, but I was like, you could do something really crazy with telling the story through receipts. Did I say that out loud? I thought I left it vague to try and have someone pick up on it. Yeah, but this was...
That was awesome.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
It just like... I don't know like how to process all this because everything is so vague, but you can just get like I said, you just get glimpses into this much deeper, darker story. And not just a cop. I think that this is like this is like a cannibal restaurant maybe, or it's either that or maybe like a slavery type deal where they're like trading people. I mean, they're putting them in deep freeze, but that could just be terminology they use. And like,
at this point,
you go.
I'm convinced at this point, like, Will can write a story in like a phone book format.
Probably. He got poisoned with some Game of Thrones poison. I'm not familiar with Game of Thrones poison. What is that?
Just Game of Thrones. I'm kidding. I heard it's a good show.
Not the last 2 seasons. People hated those.
Oh yeah.
Just like I hate Sweet Home. God, I'm sad by Sweet Home. It had such potential.
Oh, it's a reference to Rats in the Walls.
It's a reference to Rats in the Walls? The cocktail poison. Put it this way: Delapore is the reference to Lovecraft, the Rats in the Walls. Oh God, it's been a while since I've read Rats in the Walls. It's one of my favorites. 'Cause it's like,
I have it open. Yeah, it's the name of the family.
well, because the entire premise of Rats in the Walls is the guy keeps hallucinating hearing rats, and he ends up discovering that there's an entire crypt underneath his, like an entire city underneath his. It is a cannibal. Okay, it's a cannibal reference. I was just trying to remember what the end of the story was. He discovers there's this massive cave structure beneath his house, and he goes in there with an adventuring party, and they find like a dead city, as you do in Lovecraft stories. And at the end, he gets found in the caves. I'm not sure if people find I don't think people find the city itself, but they find him in the caves eating his adventuring crew that came with him. Yeah, that's a deep reference. That's a good reference to put in there. I did not catch that because I don't really. Lovecraft is not one of those stories where characters really stick out. It's more of the horrors themselves. Because a lot of his characters kind of blur together into the same sort of very long-winded people. But yeah, that was William. That was fantastic. That was absolutely fantastic. Okay. So, writing assignment, first attempt at second-person POV. Okay, so we're getting second person, which, it's not going to be super different from what we normally read, but I think, that's a fair change of pace. This is by Anime AK. Okay. I did not mean to minimize you. Oops, did not do that. Oop. Here we go. A Night of Reflection by Anime AK 116. Vale, IHOP, downtown. You stood in front of the viewing window to the IHOP in the plaza. Do they have IHOP in, I guess, International House of Pancakes has no denomination.
They do now. It says international, Raymond.
It's internet. Silver Eye is
The
dark.
Intergalactic House.
The Intergalactic House of Poggers. Silver eyes darken through the dirty winter coat hood as you stare into the restaurant. The cold was frigid around the patched-up pants to your bones. The cold was frigid around the patched-up pants to your bones. A better way to say that would probably be like the frigid cold bled through your patched-up pants, going right to your bones, or bled through to your bones through your patchwork pants, that kind of thing. Bright lights illuminated everything inside, the staff milling about and taking orders of those within. Inside were many people, not just the staff. Men, women, children huddled together against the unrelenting cold, waiting to be placed at the next available table. Babes were crying or sleeping in their mother's arms. Mother's arms. And even children were getting restless and impatient to finally sit and eat a warm meal prepared by the cooks in the kitchen. That last section, by the cooks in the kitchen, you can probably cut that. You didn't hear them as you stood there, as others passed by, separated by brick, stone, and glass. You only saw it was a wasteful. You only saw it was as the wasteful You only saw it as the wasteful self-indulgence of the souls within. Or at least in your young cynical mind, it was. Yet deep inside, perhaps in a long-forgotten part of you. I think you need a comma there. Marvels at the wholesome scene. Of warm stories being shared among the chiefs and chefs and bussers, as they prepared and served hot meals for their guests. Yeah, you can definitely cut that earlier one about the cooks. Like, you mentioned the chefs here, that gives us enough mental image. We don't need them mentioned again. As the camaraderie, as if their camaraderie, the camaraderie of friends and family, managed to drive away each person's sorrows. But you only took a deep breath. Your hand lightly touched the clean glass, smearing oily, dirty fingers longingly, as if your body language was denying the feeling of apathy that was present constantly. That you. All right, stop. That sentence is a mess. Go back to the drawing board on that one.
Which one? Hold on, I got a bit distracted.
Smearing oily dirt fingers longingly as your body language was denying the feeling of apathy that was present constantly that you tried to project. I think that's like two different thoughts that are intermingling. You need to untangle them, because I can't quite. I can kind of get what you're going for, but like it's not enough that I can really. It's still like I got the knot partway unraveled, but it's still tight. But no one saw you do it. It was as if you didn't exist to the people walking by you, other than for a few odd stares or looks of contempt. So then you started to look from table to table, scanning each family or couple. It didn't take long to identify each one. Having to see them before when you came here a lot of days in the past year. Yeah, you have some weird language here, like having to see them, scanning each of the family. It didn't take long to identify each one, comma, having seen them before when you came here a lot in these past days. Having seen them before, considering you've come here a lot this past year. That probably works a little bit better.
You have come here a lot this past year.
Well, it's like it flows from the last sentence. So it didn't take long to identify each one, comma, having come here a lot.
Oh, okay.
A lot this past year, or having come here a lot this past year. I think that would flow better. Yet seeing each of them with such a jolly spirit was swelling something within your heart. Who's this? The Grinch? Guess I just made the loneliness more cereal. Wow, the loneliness was really cereal. Loneliness brand cereal, guys. Wonder what that tastes like. You mean surreal, which is surreal. Is that right? Surreal? Surreal?
Yeah, surreal, yeah.
Yeah. That's what you're looking for, not cereal. More potent. Guess I just made the loneliness more surreal and more potent? Okay, I guess that works. So you do what you do on any holiday when you come by the diner. You pretend, having fantasies of being a carefree child of any family within the Brisling establishment. Brisling? Is that a word?
I've never heard that word.
Brizzle is a term used to refer to the city of Bristol in the United Kingdom by its residents, Bristolians. I think you meant bustling. I'm going to put money and assume you meant bustling establishment. The family that sat in the tables in the center were new as you you'd apostrophe D never seen them before. The others have worn their welcome, or the fantasy didn't have the same effect like a new family would. It was a standard one. 2 children who looked like they were between the ages of 2 years and 9 months old. The woman was a fair beauty and even had silver eyes and black hair like yours, except she was someone that could walk in public without the need of hoods or garter necks, unlike yourself. The father was of a muscular build, with blonde hair, with blue stern but caring eyes. He He even acted like the traditional thought of what a father was to the infant and toddler. I don't think you need that. I think just the fact that he is a father and he is present describes that. So you close your eyes and imagine, and your imagination went somewhere else. Suddenly, it was as if the dark feeling of cynicism and sorrow that kept you alive went away in an instant, like this was meant to be. This goes on a little bit. How many words is this? How do I find that? Is there how do you find how many words? Tools, word count. There it is. Yeah. Oh God, this is over. We're gonna do this page. We'll finish up this page. That's 4 times what we asked for. We asked try and keep it short. Though you're sitting across from the 2 adults as your new sisters happily giggled and laughed as you talked to your new parents about what you did during the school day prior to the winter break. They smiled, laughed even at the activities and thoughts of friends that made up this fictional world. It smelled of meat roasting over open fires, the cold long having left his body as the warm leather of the seat took its place. Have you ever sat in one of those places? That leather is cold when you sit down, man. The food of various dishes was delectable to the senses. The smell of various dishes, although, because I don't know if you had them yet or not. I'm just assuming you don't have them yet. The waitress comes around and asks, yeah, you don't have the food yet, so you're smelling the food. You're not... The smell of various dishes was delectable to the senses. Waitress comes around and asks for your order and replied in kind for beef stew and a warm baked buttermilk biscuit. The waitress nodded and looked to the adults, and your mother asked for...
A lot of biscuits in this stream. That's what I'm baking on stream next time.
Oh, that'd be amazing. You'd also make me hungry and I'd hate you, but it'd be amazing. The waitress nodded and looked to the adults, and your mother asked for country fried steak and eggs with a bowl of cheddar broccoli soup for the little ones. The little blonde girl pouted because she wanted to order for herself, not herself. Well, I guess you could just order herself, but didn't argue with her mother. Though father ordered the same thing as mother, except without the soup. Just cut the though. Just father. Father ordered the same thing. You were all content with your life. Yet as slow as the fantasy was, it ended when reality started to set in. The cold started to nip at your skin as the warmth started to be replaced. The hand on the window slowly slips away, off the glass, leaving a handprint on it. Then you turn and walk away as it started to hurt. Something within you wanted to get out. It usually never got out. Walking down the alley on the side of the restaurant, your sight fell upon a dangly old cardboard hut made with boxes and broken broom handles and rods. The door hanging off the side of the brick wall. I think you need another the door hanging off the side. And within the hut was just a simple sleeping bag. It was just a simple sleeping bag. Period. Laying down, you bring your knees and arms together to make a ball of cloth to keep yourself warm for the predictable cold weather coming in from the sea. You know what would your old friend say about this? You knew what your old friend would say about this. A cheap copy of you said, as they were all the while trying to sleep. I don't know if that sentence works. You might want to shop that a little bit. I don't know how to piece that out. Just go away, you reply. Yeah, no, he replied.
You could do like a cheap copy of what you said while trying to sleep. I don't know. A cheap copy of what you said, period. Something about being sleepy.
As you close your eyes. That'd probably be it. Something like that.
Yeah.
Then he sat across from you, and a sigh escaped your lips as you turned over to be in the opposite direction of where the copy was. You could just go out there and just try to ask to be part of a family. Yeah, and look how well that turned out when we were forced into the dust mines. Look, all I'm saying is that you have a better chance of getting adopted by simply putting yourself out there. That's a joke, you reply lowly. Lowercase y. I have a snowball's chance in hell on that. All right, and we're gonna cut it there because we're already over probably about 1,000 words at this rate with how thick this is. This is a chunky boy. This is definitely an improvement, Anime AK. It still has a lot of grammar issues and such, but I think you've kind of you developed a much more interesting story this time around. There's some weird jank with the setting. Again, I'm not a fan of using real world locations like IHOP in fictional settings like Ruby, but
That was kind of funny. Yeah. But I don't
But
think that was the idea.
I thought like your use of it was very interesting. I very much enjoyed how you incorporated the core Ruby characters as like these pedestrians to this homeless person that just wants to be adopted, to be a part of a family. And I thought that's a very interesting motivation for someone just, seeing outside of that window. So I think you're growing. You've made some improvement here, I think. I think also forcing yourself in the second person really helped you work on character motivation a lot. So good work. All right. Next, I believe, is Won't Cry for Me. Oh, that's the wrong tab. Which is which is by Lord Destino. Or
I like how it's on Wattpad.
yeah.
Some old tech.
Oop. I forgot to close. There we go. Do you want to take this one?
Sure, let me just get some water. Because, I've been talking so much. Oh, where's the water? There it is.
Right here. Here you go.
I threw the frog to Sarah. Now it's on her head.
He's chilling.
He is chilling.
IHOP translates into iBoop. Abe, you hurt me with that. Kellogg's Surreal. I haven't been checking the chat. I need to check the chat on some of this. Ruby's Grammarly and autocorrect kept market.
Yeah,
Don't trust. Okay, Grammarly will never make up for just learning grammar. Like that's that. Having a decent spell check system, like just basic Word, like get an old copy of Word. You can find them out there. Just get an old copy of Word. The basic spell check in that is superb for anyone that has a grasp on grammar and spelling, because then you kind of like, oh, I screwed up here. Maybe I need to fix this. When you know grammar and you're alerted to issues, you can try and fix them yourself instead of having to be told like a billion times that you're using the wrong tense when the entire piece is in one singular tense and you haven't screwed it up. Well, your friends didn't know your prompt, anime guy. If your friends are telling you it was too short, they didn't know the prompt that it was supposed to be 500. As a non-American, I would have needed to Google IHOP and would have not understood whatever the author wanted to communicate with that. That's fair. That's a good point. Needing to translate that, I think just going with a generic diner of sorts would have been probably a smarter move. Hello, friends. Hi.
There is no emotion or atmosphere connected to the word. It's just a kind of mediocre pancake restaurant.
I mean, like, was it that or Waffle House that we stopped at? I think it was IHOP. We came back from Japan, and we had been, while we were out in Japan, we had all this wonderful food, delicious, cheap, healthy food, because Japan is somehow a miracle worker when it comes to nourishment. But we all agreed when we got back to the States, the first thing we all wanted was the greasiest, most unhealthy meal we could possibly think of. And we could think of no better place than IHOP. And so at 3 a.m., we rolled into IHOP. It was great.
Sounds great.
Yeah. If there's any emotion or atmosphere connected to the word, it's lost on me. Yeah, no, just Google one. Know that regularly people get stabbed in IHOP parking lots. It's a little more regular in Waffle House. but people get stabbed in parking lots there. Crunchy Steakhouse. Yes. Crunchy Steakhouse.
I told them the word limit, but I still thought that was too short to understand what's going on. Well, then it's on you to be able to write more concisely. You could
Yes.
definitely write this down into like one page.
Yeah, but like I said, you're improving. You don't take that as too harshly. You're making some strides here. But yeah, maybe next should be like a concise writing challenge.
I stab.
All right, so you're gonna read this on the Wattpad.
Wattpad. Chapter 1. One Wish. Welcome to my first story. It may not be what you think, but I hope you enjoy.
I feel like this didn't follow the prompt either, like Apocalyptic Chaos. But that's fine. We're at the end of the list, so might as well. But this is always a bad sign.
Raphael POV. If you're going to do, first of all, it's, I don't know how old you are, but it's like, I mean, you're using Wattpad, so I'm going to assume you're on the younger side, and if you're not on the younger side, and this is going to be very awkward, don't start with Raphael's POV. I don't know who Raphael is. I don't care who Raphael is. Just write, and I should be able to figure it out. Assuming
it's something
this is
I've been
first
actually
series.
noticing. It's something that I've actually been noticing in a couple of things that I've been reading lately. There have been like authors that are actually decent authors. They're not bad writers, but they feel the need to put POV descriptions at the beginning of things. And I'm just like, why? Like you don't need them. You can pick that all up from context clues. You trust your audience with these things. So you don't need that. Also, don't say, well, first your italics is all over the place in that very first line. Welcome to my first story. It may not be what you think, but and then not italics. Hope you enjoy.
Also, POV should be all caps if you're going to do that. If you're doing acronyms, it's all caps.
Yes. But like, don't do it in the first place. You don't need the POV denotation. Yeah.
A good writer should be able to. You should be able to know.
Yeah, and obviously you're the first time writer, first story, so I'm setting my expectations incredibly low, as a benefit to you. Because that's just whenever I hear this is my first story, my first fanfic or whatever, I immediately just be like, okay, I'm not going to expect a work of Hemingway here, exactly. Okay, you want to continue?
Yeah. Fresh autumn air filled my lungs as I walked to the academy. Is this Umbrella Academy? I don't know, but I know that was like a thing. Anyway, it was mostly quiet, save for and cars passing me.
Save for the cars passing me.
Yeah. I stood outside looking at the courtyard. That should be one word, courtyard. Flooded with students. So many people. I walk in avoiding eye contact at the ground until I made it to my classroom. That also should be one word. Classroom is one word.
Well, that sentence, like, I walk in, comma, avoiding eye contact, cut at the ground, because, like, you're not avoiding eye contact with the ground itself. Like, oh no, the eyes of the ground, they see me! Can you just imagine you look down and just a pair of eyes are sticking out of the ground just looking at you? Be horrifying.
Good morning. I slightly look up and I slightly look up the seeing and older man with glasses wearing a suit and tie. I look up at the man wearing glasses and a suit and tie, my teacher. Hello. Oh, it's one of those shy protagonists. Cool. How are you this fine morning? He asked, shouting, gaining the attention of... How are you this fine morning? He asked, shouting, comma. He asked, comma, shouting, comma, gaining the attention of passersby. I'm fine, comma, sir. Also, sir shouldn't be capitalized unless it's formal title before a name. So like when you're talking about, like, let's say you're writing about a soldier and it's Corporal Johnson, it's, I think we've gone over this, the C, when you write Corporal Johnson, that C is capitalized. But if if it was like the corporal said, that would not be capitalized. Fine. Have you thought of why you never felt better? Huh?
Huh?
Smile, you fool. The more you do it, the more you feel better, he exclaimed even louder, pointing at me.
Okay,
This sadly, which shouldn't be capitalized, sadly isn't a proper noun, is my homeroom teacher, Vincent Ambrosi, who, considering this genre of fanfic, is probably named after a real person or is a character. And he's out of his mind. That also shouldn't be capitalized.
yeah, a lot of random capitalizations in here, which trust me, I know the urge. Actually, if you're not a native English speaker, this may be why it's happening.
Yeah.
Because, like,
But I don't see it otherwise.
yeah, I mean, you capitalize an adverb, for example, so...
Do we know this person? Like, this is like their first time submitting.
This is the first time submission, I believe, of Lord Destino. Let me look at Lord Destino. Have I really talked with them? I have talked with Lord Destino a little bit. Did they submit last time? No, they did not submit last time. I do not remember. I think this is the first time submitting to us.
Okay. Oh. Brave of him or her. Or them,
Yes.
I don't know.
Foolish of you. Brave, but foolish.
What? A moment of awkward silence. Haha, smile more before I get the paddle, he confidently stated.
All right. This suddenly took a turn, and I think I'm gonna like it.
Isn't the illegal? Isn't that illegal? Isn't that illegal? Not if they find out. Not if they don't find out.
Yeah.
Okay, then, I'm going to take my seat now.
All right. I'm gonna say I see sparks here. I see sparks. You've got something. You got something. You don't have it yet, but you're chasing it, and I see you're chasing, and I think you got something.
I look at him staring at the ceiling in his own personal world. In honesty, I can't tell if his strange behavior is an act or not. He advises the drama club, but seeing their literally be THEIR, performances last year doesn't really support my theory. Walking into I go to my desk and talk out notebook and folder for first period and take. Dude, are you writing like I'm trying not to be mean, but like you are missing so many words.
You're missing a lot of words. A lot of this grammar, like, not just you're missing words. You're using the wrong words in a lot of places. I mean, I don't know how old you are, or what your capacities are. This is very rough, and I mean, thankfully you did clarify this is your first story. It definitely feels like someone's first time ever writing a story. It's not something you can't make up. You can always fix these issues, but you need to take a little more time with them. You need to go back over and make sure like this needs at least another 2 drafts minimum before it's anywhere solid.
The very cliche fanfic setup aside, I cannot continue reading this and like every other word is just, wrong. Like it's I understand, like, it's hard the first time you write. I know that feeling where you're super nervous and you don't even want to look back on what you're writing and you, like, you're not really thinking about it, but like, you have to do that because I can't imagine you would read this back to yourself and be like, yep, this looks good.
Agreed. I've read a story about 8 different POVs told in first person, so the author had to constantly announce the current character. That happens, and we call that poor writing. Okay, here's a fun fact. There is a science fiction novel out there that is a pseudo, not novel, but short story. I can't remember what it's called. I should go dig up my collection of short stories. And it is told constantly with fluctuating point of view, where you're never quite sure what the point of view is at any one given time. Because there's like 4 characters in there, and at any point you could be seeing it from their point of view, from an omniscient point of view, from like an item's point of view. And the thing is, you can follow the story. You can follow vaguely what's going on. It's a little difficult at times, but you can follow it. The information is there. It's just, you have to kind of piece it apart bit by bit at times. So the fact of the matter is, you can get to that point. But the first thing you need to do is shed yourself of this thing where you have to state your POV. The only time you should be stating your POV is to yourself mentally right before you start typing the first word. And even then, sometimes in the middle of it, you want to change POV, you can do that. But you got to be very careful with that. You got to actually, there's finesse to it. But then there's also bluntness to it. I'm not making any sense. I feel like I'm gibbering there. Positive thing is, your writing sucks, you can improve a lot, and seeing yourself improve is very motivating. Getting stuck at meh is what really gets annoying. Yes, like that's the worst thing for a writer. Plateauing. Plateauing at meh, and then not being able to move beyond that is terrible. This is honestly terrible, this writing here. But you can get better. You have the greatest potential right now to improve yourself quantitatively. You can literally make the greatest strides, because right now you're at the difficulty curve, where, you know, a difficulty curve, imagine pushing a boulder up a curve. At the very beginning, it's very easy to make a lot of progress. You can make a lot of progress. It's when you start getting to the sharper incline of the curve that you start really struggling to push things. So right now, you're at the quintessential time to improve yourself to be better. So if I were you, I'd sit down, I'd really read up on sentence structure. I'd read up on your vocabulary. Make sure you know if you're not sure what a word is, always check a dictionary. Always. If you're not sure if it's the word you need. And if it's not the word you need to find the word you need. Look for synonyms of words that are like it. Always try to find what you're looking for. Don't just sit back and say, oh, he out notebook. He takes out the notebook. He takes it out. It's a different word than talk. Can't just leave it at that. Okay. Well, okay. So that's the end of submissions. We still have Apocalyptic Chaos we could cover a little bit more of, but I know you're not a big fan of that. Or we could do the secret links.
The what?
The secret links, which are really bad fan fiction. I don't know, we were reading some of this last night, and it was just hilarious. It's not the Link's Queen one. That one gets very raunchy very quickly. Raymond, are you going to do the thing? Fanfiction.net/fanfiction in general habits. You know, Moopa, at this point, we might just do yours last every single time, just so that you don't have to, miss it when we do it live.
Yeah, I always feel bad, because, I like reading your stuff, and you're never there to watch us read it.
Bad fanfictions for the win. I'm tempted. This is one that has a bit of a story behind it, and I feel kind of bad about this. Well, I don't feel bad. This is not someone did not give us permission to read this on stream, but we don't need that permission. This is written by someone who is basically sort of a stalker, and they shipped all their characters with they shipped their roleplay characters with the roleplay characters of someone they had an infatuation with, and so I don't know. See, I don't know. Like, I don't know if it'd be entertaining bad like it is in like a private group. But I don't know. I do not know. I'm indecisive on this. What do you think, Molly? What do you think we should do?
Sarah, what do you want to do?
I don't know.
Thanks, Sarah.
Chat,
Love
what do
you.
you want?
Can I have the frog back?
Yes.
Thank you.
Look, had to get 10K steps in for the day. Nice to listen to what to as I walked through. Oh, I'm glad you enjoyed it, Sky Zero. I hope you got your good exercise in. Josh Evans did say bad fanfiction for the win. I know Twilight Guardian Nakago is Twilight Guardian. You know, she's intrigued by hearing these, I think, read out loud. She's the one that introduced us to it. I think we'll read out Star Droids, Mercy in the Heart of Machinery. It's good, bad fanfiction. Here we go. Starship, Saturday evening, 7 p.m. Terrence Gaia Cremastior, also known as Terra, was sitting in among his own private quarters. He was laying on his bed, thinking about the different encounters he has had with each girl he has been in a relationship with. From the betrayal of Ursa, the unknown disappearance of Shori, to the sweet but too soon meeting with Slash. It was quite difficult for him to move on. All he wanted was a steady lover, like his other brethren who remained with one girl only. The only two people who understood him in this area was Sunstar and Saturn. Both had one failed relationship, but they had never expected for Terra to have 3 broken. All Terra could do was to try and compensate with his torn heart and maybe, just maybe, wait for a miracle to arise. This is such complete shit to deal with, man. Even if I am part machine, I still have the sensitive heart of a damn human. He tosses his pillow across his room, trying his hardest not to cry. Alas, he cannot hold back his tears. Why? Why can't a cyborg like myself have faithful and loyal love in hand? Terra clenches his fist tightly as he punches the steel wall of his own room. Ugh! Mercury, who was in the recreation area a few rooms down, had heard the vibrations and screams coming from Terra's room. He was in the middle of playing galactic pinball until he had heard the angry roar from his best friend and brother figure. Mercury had ended his last ball quickly as he rushed over to Terra's room to comfort him in his time of depression and disappointment. Hey bro, you alright? You scared the hell out of me while I was trying to play pinball. Mercury sat on Terra's desk chair, swiveling it right next to him. Terra looked at.
Remember Aqua.
Terra looked at Mercury. This is a Mega Man fanfiction for the record. Terra looked at Mercury with his eyes still watery. Sorry about that, Mercs. It's just. Sorry, I gave him a gravelly voice. Sorry about that, Mercs. It's just I don't know why I must be the one to be emotionally beaten. At least you and Midnight have been together for 3 years now. I feel like I won't experience that kind of luxury. Look, Terra, you'll definitely have love come to you one day. People are like gems. You never know what 1 in a million will shine with you. Give yourself some time to heal at least. I feel bad that you'll jump the gun and still get let down. He rubs and pats Terra's back. I'm only human as well, Maryvale. I'm only human as well, Maryvale. I can only handle so much. I can only handle but so much. For Terra to call Mercury by his birth name was a rare occasion for you to use. He would only say it either out of frustration or a deep critical conversation. I think Molly's dead. You dead,
Sugar
Molly?
crash.
Sugar crash? Mercury was taken aback by this as he stood up and began to leave the room before he went
Molly's
back to his
dead.
own room.
It's Frog now.
It's Frog now. She's gonna get a Kermit puppet. Before he went back to his own room, Mercury said one last sentence that left Tara shook. I know that she's still alive. To be continued. That was chapter 1. What do you think?
I feel like... Oh, man. Mike, hold on. Microphone. I feel like we could find something of similar quality just going into the Ruby tag on AO3.
Oh, yeah. No doubt. No doubt. Easily.
Let's do... Hold on. Hold on.
3X's the Hoarder.
Hi,
I don't know,
frog face.
remember all the drama. I just love how supercharged this drama is. It's great. What does it take to give a cyborg man some sweet poon around here? Oh, look, it's abused and neglected male reader. Serax, I'll just pretend this is Ironwood's academy days. Ironwood would be swimming in a harem of women and men. This is a mixed metaphor if I've ever heard one. Molly looks like she died. I can only handle butts so much. F. Pain. Yeah, this is pain. I love how bad this is.
You know what's fun? Going into the John Arc tag and sorting by hits.
Oh, really? I had never considered doing that.
Okay, the first one from 2019. So this is the most read.
Here, throw me the link. Throw me the link.
Fanfiction.
Throw me the link. I'm gonna pop that on screen.
We cannot read this on chat.
Oh, okay. Oof.
It has 645,000 hits, so more than any of us will ever get. It is John X Harem.
Yep.
Why?
You know what the second one is?
What?
John X Harem. You know what the third one is? John X Harem. You know what the fourth one is?
John X Harem.
Hell yeah. Actually, it's Ruby X Harem, but John is in there a lot too. It is Fuda.
Of course it is.
It is Fuda.
I mean, I expect that. Like, that's about 10% of the Ruby fandom.
Underneath that, and it just updated, John X Harem. Underneath that, Fuda Harem. Underneath that, John X Harem. Underneath that, John X Harem. Need I go on?
Something I never mentioned in VC because I don't know if I should say that on stream because like we were talking. If you read the stream, it's a Mega Man fan fiction, but Twilight Guardian made a point about their physical appearance and some of the replacement parts they have.
That's awful.
It is awful. Where is my son harem? Son is too Chad to have a harem. He understands that maintaining multiple love interests simultaneously is a fool's errand and will only backfire horribly. There exists a Cowgirl John X Futa Pura story. I could have gone my entire life without knowing that. I could have gone my entire life without knowing that. And yet here you are spewing it on my stream on this, the day of my daughter's wedding.
The day of my Marnie's wedding.
Marn.
Aw, she proposed. But okay, I was gonna say, we should probably start wrapping the stream a little bit. What do we want for the next?
Hold on,
prompt?
I'm going to go through this tag until I see something that isn't John X Harem or Fuda Harem.
Bum 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 bum.
It took until the middle of page 2.
What was it?
The main Ruby cast, aka Teams Ruby and Juniper, watch one of the best abridged series on the internet, Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and they react to it.
What?
Oh my god, I forgot that there were things like that. That is cringe. Although
I don't know
there's
what's
a
more
weird
cringe.
subgenre. There's a weird subgenre of characters reacting to fan fictions they're in. That is actually fun. Because then you get really messed up ones, and the characters are like, What the hell?
I don't know. It's still cringe.
Something erotic and kinky for the next prompt? No, we don't. Okay, look. If you want erotic and kinky discussion things, you need to sign up for my Patreon for $1 or more and get access to Team Frostbite Discord server, where regularly I get in voice chat at this rate and talk with a bunch of you guys about some of the most messed up and raunchy and kinky fan fictions, because there are some hilariously bad ones out there, like Link's Queen, which is
Oh, wait. Here's one. Where the first thing your soulmate says to you is written somewhere on your body in their color.
oh, that's a classic. It's a classic. I like that's a very safe, like, I'm just in the mood for something fluffy. You can find that in every single fandom, and it will be okay.
There is so much Fuda. There is so much Fuda.
Oh boy,
Man, for a fan base obsessed with shipping women that is supposedly run by women shipping other women, the fanfics sure do have a lot of male parts in them.
Yep,
Makes one think.
it does.
That's my other conspiracy theory.
Well, we can explore that conspiracy theory at a future date. But that said, oh god, I hate the soulmate thing. Soulmates is another one of those things that, like, people hate because it's always done poorly, but there are ways to actually do it really well. That, like,
You know what? Ship prompts next round actually isn't a terrible idea. Obviously, keep it like T-rated, but like writing a good romance isn't easy. You know,
that's a good prompt.
that's a lot of character study. That's a lot of dialogue. It's combining some things that we've worked on before. So
Okay, so again, the goal for the range is about 500 words.
we could give them a little more because it'll take some time to build up dialogue and stuff.
Okay,
750.
750. That's a good barometer to aim for. Now, yeah, so it'll be a romance. You're going to have to show some kind of romance, and for extra bonus points, a convincing soulmate. I want to see what people can do with soulmate concepts. It can be any type of soulmate. You can do whatever you want with that, but soulmates is the secondary task. We kind of give you a main objective, which is to write a romance. We give you a word count and a sub objective, which is an optional objective. So yes, basically it's shipped prompting. I once did that with Mimi with submissions on my roleplay blog. I had to say I wasn't accepting any more after people started sending me React to Mimi X Ultimate level Digimon smut. Oh my.
Oh, here's one. Guys, you've never heard this one before, okay? Blake Belladonna and Yang Xiaolong. John Arc and Pura Nikos. Characters to be added. Writer Blake. Yang is a hopeless lesbian. Fake dating AU. Slow burn. Terrible puns and bad jokes. She stared right into the bright golden mask of a knight, their armor tarnished by splattered blood. And then it's like she deleting it because she's a writer and writer stuff. And Yang is a gay meth, which is not a thing people say. That's not it. The only person I've known who used the term like disaster lesbian in real life was genuinely a sociopath.
Oh shoot, yeah.
I would only refer to if they no, I know people that actually have used that term before, though. I tell you,
It's cringy as hell. Stop doing it.
No, she is very cringe as a person.
That was either like under the age of 18 or wow.
Yeah. So there's that. That's just a description of regular Ruby. But yes, there's your prompts. What?
Although you have to remember, so one of my favorite genres of fanfic to read is what I call sad people writing, which is very sad people, very clearly projecting. And if you're writing ships, it is the easiest thing to fall into. So much as I like to read sad people writing, I don't want to read your sad people writing. So watch that.
Take your sword.
Like when I see like Yang is a gay mess, like that's sad people writing. That's like I wish I had a girl who was just falling over me. What am I doing wrong? It can't possibly be my personality.
Sky Zero, take your sword and place it in your scabbard. Sean Connery voice. Unicorn of War? Alright. Stop.
Stop, he's already dead.
He hasn't updated
My
recently,
favorite
has he?
thing about Unicorn of War is how he was like, I'm gonna be more woke, and then surrounded himself with woke people, and then was shocked when his boyfriend was like, I'm going to turn this interpersonal drama into a cancel.
Yeah.
Oh, that's right. I completely forgot that happened.
Like, what? It sounds like they just weren't good for each other, but instead of just peacefully sorting it out like adults, one of them had to make, like, some giant, like, call-out post. Like, dude.
That was all types of cringe. And I don't want to get embroiled in that. I honestly don't. Because I consider Thomas a friend. So it's like it's stuff I don't want to scratch on too badly.
I don't think Tom did anything wrong. I just think that the people he ended up surrounding himself with are morons.
Well, on that note, let's wrap up this stream because we're starting to touch on like controversial subject matter and I try to stay off it.
It's not controversial. The detail. It was just two people being, or it wasn't even him, and it was his boyfriend being stupid enough to make their interpersonal drama public.
Don't do that.
Don't do that, kids.
Wait, hold up! I need details. I don't use Twitter. Good. Stay off of Twitter. You don't need details. The details are what people go to Twitter for, and it just corrupts your soul. Twitter is evil. I say as I use it regularly.
The details were what the cancel was like. He didn't talk to me about my problems enough. Like, dude, he's not even there.
Yeah, that's...
Okay, bonus points if one of you writes, like, a modern cringy romance on purpose and does it well.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's Tetrary objective. That's Tetrary level. That's William Wimser level. No, William, don't actually do it. I want to read something good, like another genuinely good thing by you. I don't need you attempting the cringe. All right, let's wrap up the stream. Thank you all so much for watching. Thank you for everyone that submitted. We look forward to your submissions every single week. I hope our commentary helped you improve a little bit as writers, a little bit each time we come on here. And we look forward to what you have for us next week. We'll catch you all on the flip side.
On the front.